Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel. Awesome man, awesome. We're back on another video guys on the Ravenport conversion. And as you've noticed in the previous videos, we've been having troubles with the textures and what is that thing called? It's there's an error on it about shaders. Sorry, not textures, the shaders. And I've decided in this video to show you what I'm going to do to get rid of these shaders. Now, luckily, or I would say more a blessing than anything else, it's not all the rocks. It seems to be, I've had a look at it, it seems to be all the climbing rocks. So all the ones that are climbing rocks is the ones giving us the trouble. So it's going to be very simple and easy to replace them. What I've done now is I've gone into the map, US map, and just to have a look at the rocks that's here. If you look, they've no, that's the French map, sorry, not the US, it's the French map. So it's basically a matter of just replacing the rocks inside the Ravenport map and using the new ones with proper textures. So what we'll do is I'm just going to export this whole rock selection. So we're going to go File. Before we carry on, if this is your first time on the channel, a warm welcome to you, and hit the like and the subscribe. Please do that as we are talking about it before we forget, because yeah, stuff happens, you know. You get involved and we get busy and then you forget. Good man. Thanks so much guys. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that rock setup and go File, Export with Files, and then we go into our folders or our map. Create for us. Oh, we have a folder called rocks. Good, there is one called rocks. I wonder where you know what, that's another one that I've exported just to try out. That one is not going to work because it's the same rocks that I've got in FS19. So yeah, they didn't work. I've just tried to re-import them on their own, you know, and it didn't work. Alright, so here we go, new folder. I want to put a new folder here. Doesn't matter, I can just call this one rocks. Let's call it FR for French, then we know where they come from. Save. And then when it asks here parent directories, you say yes, and you say yes again, because then what's nice is all this stuff, the textures, everything stays in the French map in-game, and we can simply import them into ours without having to spend a lot of data in your map folder. So that is quite nice. Good. And then what we're going to do is come in here, spot rocks. I think, yeah, I'll just go File, Import. There you go, Import, and then rock FR, and then wait for it. There you are, more rocks. So now I'm going to cut that one, the more rocks, and then go into our rocks here at spot rocks. Make sure the transform is 0, paste it in there. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is take a steep rock, for instance, have a look at it. Oh, these are now flying in the air. Why are they flying in the air? We have to be very careful now with these things, because yeah, it's going to be a problem. We don't want stuff flying in the air. It's going to, yeah, you see, here's another one. Oh no, that's a rock that's been placed. Okay, so let's rather take this whole transform. Yeah, you see there's a few up there as well. Let's drop it down below. Chuck it down far below the map. That will be fine. And then what we do is we go to rock step 1 and go into our climbing. We have to go back into our climbing rock here on top. F. Yeah, you see these are the ones with the funny textures. Yeah, that's the ones we want to chuck. And then I'm going to take that first rock, So we have to match this image here. So let us go back now to our more rocks. Steep rock, rock step. And just find one that looks similar to this. Want to come in close. And I'm going to go Control B, drop it here. Look at this thing. I think this might do the trick if we just swing it around a bit. And then what we can do is we're going to stretch this to 8. You see how it looks. Basically just double it in size, you know, to compare it. If I now leave it like that, it's going to look nice. I think so. So what we do is we're going to double that again to 16. So X on this one is the height, and then 16 is because we've swinged it around, you know, so the normal stuff isn't. Yeah, I think that looks better. I might just want to swing this around again. Yeah, it's 2. Just have a look like this. And this one, this is what the actual rock looks like. It's going to be close, guys. Just needs to go a bit bigger still. Let's double it again. I think the height might be more than enough. Yeah, the height I think is more than enough. Yeah, the height is great. So now get it. Yeah, height is actually too big. So we can take that height down to 12. It looks better. And then the other sizes, let's make this a 25 and let's see. Yeah, that's all right. 25. If we now bring this over this one just to compare the size. The width could be maybe a bit more, less. 22. 22. I think that is perfectly alright, guys. It will blend in nicely. Before I forget, guys, also when you import something, always make sure of your distances on it. On this rocks, for instance, the LOD on its own, LOD1, is the far distance. So if you zoom out, I'm going to show you that rock there is not there now, but if you come closer, there it is now. So that's your distance there, the LOD1. So I'm going to make mine on 1000 because I want to see my rocks when I'm a bit far away, you know. So like so. So now they are visible far, you know. So just remember to do that before you duplicate them too many times, and then you have to sort of, yeah, it becomes a pain when you have to do it afterwards. So as soon as you've imported, make sure of your distances. It does help. Save you a lot of time later on and headaches. Well, guys, after a bit of time, I manually replaced all the rocks that was flickering and having texture issues. It's been a bit of a schlep, but after all, I think it came out quite nice. Tip on doing that, guys, go to your trees, just select any tree and then find your tree, the main transform for the trees, and open obviously your attributes we know, and just hide all your trees here with the visibility, and then you can actually work easily on the rocks. And it took me, I would say, roughly half an hour to do all these rocks, duplicate them and place them. once you get stuck in, it's actually quick, because I've actually, if you look at what I've used, I'm just going to put the trees back so I don't forget. If you look at the amount of rocks that I've used, that's the new rocks. That little list of rocks, that's the only amount of rocks I've used. It's not a lot of rocks, so that's what it took me to just place that row of rocks. So yeah, you can see for yourself, it's quick and easy, and yeah, it's not a big slip. It is a slip because the replace would have been so much easier just to replace them all, or the different types with each type of rock, you know. I'm so glad that all these doesn't flicker, you know, and I've checked in game, they look all right. So yeah, great stuff. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, once now that is out of the way, we want to start looking at all the sell points and things we need to put in game. Now, I have already just added this as a first measure to test and to check. I'll show you now what I've done here. But the first thing we want to do is open our map mods, and then Ravenport, and then we want to go into our placeables. You find your placeables, there it is. And now what I do, guys, is I take one at a time. So this is our original selection of placeables here. There's not a lot that is in the original Ravenport. So I take one of them and I find the appropriate building in FS22 and just import that, you know. And also remember, this is not the building, this is just a trigger for the building. So this trigger goes along with the building. So you go to the XML here, or look at this XML name and go into any map and find the appropriate, like if this is a railroad silo one, you'll find that they are close to one another, you know, in the looks and everything. You have to modify a little bit in positioning and maybe take some silos away, all that kind of stuff. So so what I would like to show you is go into Farming Simulator 22, down to maps, map US, because I think that is where I got that one from. I think it was from map US, map i3D. Let's open that so long in the background while we are busy talking here. So what you'll do then is take one at a time. Take a line here, cut it and place it on top here and start working on it, because this has got the rotation for it, so where it originally was. So it's easy to see where the original was, you know, looking from the XML here. So we're going back into our map, and I want to show you what I've done. So what I've done in the map US is I've exported the railway station. This whole thing here, it's called Railroad Silo 1. So I've exported the whole building, and then I've just deleted the stuff that I don't want to use. There was a lot of extra silos and buildings and stuff, and then I've positioned it on the right spot here where the train tracks is. And then for the trigger, I've imported the new trigger from FS22, which is now this one here, data placeables, map US, railroad storage 1 silo. So I've just gone to the game directory in map US, and actually data placeables, map US, if you want to go to the triggers. And here's all the triggers for map US. So railroad silo 1 is there, and I've imported this trigger to go along with that silo, because it's made for that silo, if you follow what I'm saying. Great, so there it is. And if you have a look at this silo now, the way it looks, I'm going to show you now the original, what the original looks like here in the game, in Elm Creek. I think it's under structures, if I remember correctly. It's also called railroad silo or something of the kind. Production chains, could it be in there? No, I don't think it's not a production. So backdrop drainage. Elm Creek. Okay, it's probably going to be fairly easier just to search for it. Here it is. I'm right standing on top of it. It was under Elm Creek. I did not see that. Oh, it's at buy and sell points, man. Hey, okay, there it is. So here you can see what it used to look like. So I just go File, Export Selection with Files. You create a folder in your map, Ravenport maps. So you'll see I've already, this was with the rock. So in here, import it, and then Sellpoint buildings. I've made it, and there it is, Railroad Silo 1. I've just called it the same name so that I know what it is. And then I save it, and you say yes to keep all the relevant paths and everything. So then it will only take the i3D out into your map, because all this stuff is already in game. You know, you in the base game of FS22. So you don't have to bring it into your map, because it's actually connected to the base game. Great. And then what I've done, obviously, I've just placed this in my map, like there, and I've imported the trigger, and the trigger is just there. There it is. That's the trigger for it. Loading station, railroad silo. There's the trigger. Okay, it's got a lot of stuff workings on the trigger, and I can show you what the trigger looks like. Control B. That is the trigger there. So that trigger fits precisely on the 3 points on this building. So if you, I'm going to show you with the next railroad. There's another one, Railroad Silo 2. So I'm going to show you with this next one how to do it the other way. So there's two ways that you can do it. So the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to stick to our building and modify the trigger to fit our building. All right, so that might be an easier way if you don't, because you don't have to import the building then, because you just leave the standard building there. All right, so I wanted to do this way just to show you guys that you can update the buildings as well, but you have to do the trigger with it along with it. Otherwise, your triggers will be different for that way of doing it. I hope it makes sense, guys. All right, let's find that other railroad silo. Placeholders. So now I want to see. Yeah, the triggers obviously goes in the placeholders folder, because if you don't put it in there, it will be visible in game, and you'll have a clash with your import on the XML, because the XML also imports the trigger. Actually, the XML imports the trigger. The one we put in the map is just there for showing us where it is. There's always that thing with triggers and buildings with special workings. Good, so now let us find the Railroad Silo 2. I think that's the building. That's the building for Railroad Silo 2. Press F, we see it. Now this one is on the edge of the map, and you can see again there is its triggers and everything, and there will be 3 of them normally. In this case I don't see the, oh yeah, I've only got that one, Railroad Silo 2. There's it, yeah. There's the 1, the 2, and the 3. There's all 3. So once again, now you can see this one is a little bit different than the other one. It's got like a triangle shape of the triggers. Okay guys, I've decided to give up on this way of bringing in the FS19 triggers, because the reason for that is if you look at your XML, there is so much things here that's different in FS22. This is the FS22 one. I mean, you've got your AI stuff, the trigger markers, there is silo part, and then also your i3D mappings. There's so much things that is different, where this is your railroad silo in the old one in FS19. So to try and incorporate all of this into this one, it's going to cause you endless headaches and stuff, errors in the game. Can't find this child and that thing. Just don't bother with it. So let's get stuck in and just do it the right way. What we'll do is we'll just modify the FS22 trigger, because the building is fine. We don't have to do anything on the building. So let's rather modify the FS22 trigger. Great. So what we're going to do now, guys, is get stuck in, go into the FS22 folder. Oh, what, this mouse is driving me nuts. Okay, FS22. and then go into data, map, placeables. Want to go into maps, because all your cell points is under placeables, and then map US, and then silo 02, and we're going to grab this one, open it up in 902 like that. Okay, we've already got the XML, that's fine, but you need to bring this R3D into your map now, because we're going to customize it. Okay guys, stick with me. We're going to use this one here, which is Railroad Silo 01's trigger. We cannot use 02's trigger because 02 only has two points, and we need one with 3 points. So what we're going to do is we're going to import or just duplicate. Doesn't really matter because this is just so we're going to duplicate this one like so, and then call this one 02 like that. 02, great. Okay, and now our XML is going to be wrong, but we'll fix that just now. Let's just work on the trigger for now. So take this one that we've now duplicated, bring it in here, and where's my third one? There should be 3. There it is. Okay, it's a bit lower. Why is it so low? Crazy. So we have, there it is. It's just hiding behind the building. So Control B, just put it here for now somewhere. Doesn't really matter where you place it, because we're going to move this individual things. The train one. This is the train loading. Bring that here. So we want to put the train loading here, so it is underneath this thingamabobby. I can bring this up a bit so that it comes out of the pipe, and just align this nicely with the railroad like so. I just check that it's here parallel, or close to parallel to the railroad, as close as we can get. And then just move this in so it's nicely on the pipe, so it looks good when the stuff is flowing. Great. Okay, and then the next one we want to do, that was the train, that's the unloading loading station. Now the loading station, I think, is that where is the loading station? Is that now underground or where? Oh man, that is the loading station. Sorry. The unload station is this little one that goes in there. Yeah, we need to move this here to this spot. Bring this over here. And what you want to do is just position it close as you can over the hole. And then bring it up until you see the bottom lines, and then just bring it down again until the bottom lines disappear. Then you know that you are nicely aligned. And then it's a good idea to check on the other side how far you've gone over. And this side we are a bit far over because it's coming out the building. Can go this way. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so that is our unloading station done. And then the teleport node for the train. I'm not too sure where to put that, but let's just put it in here on the train road. Grain gate link node train, that's fine. And then the road. I've messed up now, guys, because I think I've put the train thing now, which was supposed to be there. Obviously it's supposed to be here by the train stuff. I didn't think nicely now, guys, sorry about that. Just put that here where the train stuff is. and then go down again until the bottom disappears. That's what you want, just like so, and then all should be well. Good. Train. So that's for the train. Load and unload. Alright, so we're happy with that. Now the road. Let's go to the road. The road now has two, the load and unload. Okay, so the unload station is that round or the square where we unload the trailers. That's correct. That one goes there. Right. Gosh, I have to realign this thing a bit. So and the same goes with this one. Go down until you see the line disappear, just like that. That's fine. Great. And then lastly, I don't see our loading station. There it is. Just drop that there, and let's just work with it. Bring that nicely so it's in the center of this little box thingamabob. It's best to do my look from different angles, guys, because sometimes it's difficult to see whether you're in the right spot, because you think it's right and then it's not. Alright, so that looks okay. Okay, I hope that all is good. So now we can take this trigger now and test it. So we're going to export this trigger. Go File, Export with Files, and we're going to overwrite this one, Railroad Silo 02. Alright, so go Save. Or mind you, let us create a new one, Railroad. Let's make the spelling right, and then we can delete the old one. Railroad Silo 02. Save. Okay, that is it. Do you want to get parent directory? Yes please, yes please, and there you go. Alright, so what we can do now, back in our map directory, we now can delete the one that's misspelled. Sellpoint buildings, Railroad Silo with its shapes file, just chuck that. And now we have our custom i3D here. Copy that name and then into our XMLs. Once again, just fix this i3D name. Control V, Railroad Silo. Okay, 02. And our XML, sorry, we can't use this XML because this XML is built for the other railroad silo with the two triggers. So what we need to do then is go into FS22. Oh, we've already got an XML. Map E04 XMLs. I've already copied the railroad silo 01. No, I did not. I will have to bring it in, because if you want to customize what you load in your trains, you can do it in this XMLs. So it's always good to have it. So let us just go into the FS22 directory, open in a new window, keep this open here. Don't know why I normally, sometimes I close it to not get confused, you know, because it's so easy to start getting confused with open windows. But you constantly have to look at these things where they point to. Alright, so that's our map there. And then what happens here is the right one, I like to make sure that my right one is on the right side and the left one is on the left side, because otherwise if you've got a stack of folders here, it's better to have them where they are, you know. Alright, so that one is our map and this one is our game. Alright, so FS22 data, placeables, map US, and then silo 1. Grab this XML, copy, and we're going to go into here, into our map, sorry, paste it in here. And now we're going to actually, what we're going to do now is, because now we have both those triggers for the two railroad silos. The one is silo 01, so we're going to make a duplicate of that and then just rename this one to silo 02, like so. Silo 02. There you go. So now we can modify this one here. No. Save changes. No. I just want to reopen that because I think that might have been the old silo 02. Right, so here we go. This is now the correct one. You'll see it is got a lot of different stuff. So it is different than silo 01. So now we need to change this i3d again to the correct directory and the correct name, which will be railroad silo 02, that one there. Control C in here, Control V, because this is now our custom i3d and we need to change this whole directory here. We could have just copied the whole thing, man. Map FR, so it will be maps map FR Sellpoint buildings, like so. Right, and I'll fix that. Railroad silo 1 of mine is still in game. I'll point everything towards the XML file. Alright, so there we go, railroad silo 02. Now we need to also change our store data again. I think I've already done that, but let me just make sure, because it is important not to mess up. So otherwise you go into the game and it doesn't work and then you worry what is going on, like we've already done. Just make sure this XML is spelled correctly. Copy that in the store items right there, Control V. Okay, there you go, guys. Now we know it should now have three things in the map working if all is well. And then in here we can just save our changes, and at the end of the day now we can test. Right, let's have a check, guys. Exciting, very exciting. And then hopefully the railroad silo will work. Well, guys, here we are back in game, and when you see the icons for the different triggers, then you know you are in business. There's the railway triggers, and then also this side the vehicle triggers, or the unloading triggers for the vehicles. Great, so let us quickly just test it just to make sure that it is operational. We obviously don't have a train yet, so there'll be no point in holding out for a train to come, because it's not going to come. But yeah, we'll get around to that in a bit. So let's just quickly buy ourselves a little tractor. And yeah, let us just quickly have a look at if it's operational. That's going to be quite fun. It's been quite a mission, to tell you the truth, finding out what is the best way to do it. It turns out to use the buildings and the triggers from FS19 is the only way to go. We probably need to just add some stuff in here. So dump some wheat in and let's have a look. I'm fairly confident that this will work. Oh, so that is too high, guys. Oh, so that trigger, you can immediately see it's way too high in the air. So we're going to have to look at that. Can I get up there? That's the question. No, I can't. Oh my word. I would love to, but I can't. What if we jump out and put my super strength on? I just want to see, for interest's sake, if we can. We know now we need to bring that down a little bit. So yeah, it is quite high. Let us try and pull this trailer up here. Right, like so. Maybe we can get it straight now. I hope so. Come on. Doesn't want to. Come on, man. Be nice now with us. There you go. Hopefully now. There you go. You should get the little eye. There we go. If we get the eye, we know the trigger is operational. And now we can tip in it. It's just a bit high. So we'll sort that out. Obviously something with my height isn't nice there. Have to recheck that. And this is now with a custom job, guys. It's a custom trigger that we've customized. If we press on now, we should be able to load our wheat back. Yeah, and it's looking nice. Very, very nice. Great, man. Guys, I think that's enough for one for one day. A big struggle, but at least we've got victory over the rocks that was flickering, and we've sorted out one of the silos and custom trigger. How to customize the trigger. The trick then, obviously, guys, is to just remember that your XMLs needs to be in the right spot and pointing to the right i3D, and then also the i3D when you save it back from the actual map. Don't forget this, guys. When you take your like this is the railroad solid that we've exported. Just want to go there. This is the one, and here I can now check. This height must be 99.006. So in our XML, something is wrong there, that it's not that height. But anyway, when you export this now, because you're going to go file export, and you're going to overwrite that one in your directory where you save it, selling points. Here we go, that one. You have to reopen this on its own and zero the all the translations, because otherwise what's going to happen when you export it, it's going to take these numbers and put it in here, and when your XML load this, it's going to add these numbers together with the ones that's in here, and it's not going to end in the right place. So remember to open this after you've exported. Open it and just zero everything and save it again. Otherwise, what you can do is you can, in your XML, when you import it here from your placeables, you can just zero all the numbers, and it will pull it in at the right spot. So one you have to zero, either this one or the one here at the XML at placeables. But I like to have these numbers here and not the one in the i3D, because otherwise it's going to be a mess, because you're going to get confused later on. So it's better to zero the i3D. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a fun episode, and I hope you're keeping up. And yeah, thanks a lot for my supporters and everyone. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.